Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality, and today I will be showing you 4 new quilt junk journals. These are the journals that I made using the fabric scraps that I bought. It was a $1 gallon bag full of fabric scraps that I found at a garage sale. These are just 4 of the journals. I also made, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 13 in total. And so for this video, I'm showing you the fall and Christmas journals. And also these will be up in my Etsy shop. So if you're interested in them, you can check that out. I'll have the link down below. So I'll go ahead and start with this one here. If you haven't seen my previous videos in this series, I showed a bag full of fabric scraps that I purchased at a garage sale. I went through them all, and then I kind of sorted them into color categories or theme categories. And then I also did a tutorial video where I made the cover of this one, which I'll show in a different video. That's just extra there, but I made this cover. And I think this is my absolute favorite because these are my favorite colors. So, if you want to see that one, I'll have all these listed in my Etsy shop. So, I'll go ahead and start with this one. This one was a lighter green, just different shades of green, but a lot of like an olive or avocado, and then a little bit of dark green. And then I love this strawberry fabric here. So it's tied up with some, this was my rag rug, or not rag rug, but chindi rug fabric, and I had a video on that as well. But this was just a piece that came through. It matched perfectly, so I'm using that as the tie. These are all one signature, and they all have a charm dangle on the side, so this is the one I made for that. This has just a variety of the fabrics stitched in different patterns. I made a flower on the front and then just little squares, and here's what it looks like on the back. It's kind of an opposite with the flower on the bottom and then the squares on the top, or rectangles on the top. Lots of really fun trims on the sides that I've sewn. The cover is made with the fabric on the outside and then paper on the inside, and the paper on this one was a thinner paper, a scrapbook paper, so I put a padded envelope in between one of the craft ones that I received in the mail. I just recycled it, so it makes it kind of crunchy, which I really love. So you open it up here and there's a pocket, various green ephemera pieces. This is a fun flashcard. This is just a ledger paper. I'm going to talk through this one, but the other ones I'll just do flip throughs kind of on fast forward, because this will be a very long video if I went through and talked about everything. Or if I could keep it going quickly, I'll just quickly talk through it. I dyed some paper here. That's a vintage milk cap. More fun ephemera and trim there. Each of the books have 3 altered paper clips. I added washi, I did some stamping. There are vintage cards in them. This one's like a little pocket made with a tag. There's a large flashcard. So this is not necessarily, it has some fall things in it, but it also has just lots of green things, whatever green thing I could find. This is a book page from an Ideals magazine. I have Vintage Ideals magazine. This was a little green bag, so I made a little ticket tuck there, and then a little tag. This is some vellum I had in my stash. I thought it went well with it. This is some more dyed paper. This is a vintage green stamps page. I thought that went well in there. And then this is really fun lace trim there. Ticket and vintage postcard. This was from a vintage wildlife book or book about trees. This paper I made. No, actually, I think I just had this in my stash. I don't think I made it. Somebody made it, not me. I just had it from, I just found it. Or ledger paper. Here's more of the dyed paper that I made with watercolor. This was fun. It has a bunch of quotes on the color green. You could cut those apart and put them on the pages as like titles or whatever. Just add a little different thing to your pages. This is a fun leaf trim. I took some of the fabric and sewed along the side there and made a ruffle. This is just a little tuck. And there's a pocket in the top here. This is the other side of the bag. Bingo card. As I said, I did lots of sewing on these pages. Here's just a little tag that I made with scrapbook paper. I just went through my stash of ephemera and pulled out anything that was green. This is some velvet, green velvet ribbon. It's nice. Little tuck there. This was green ribbon that I had, and I just ruffled it and sewed it on the side. And this is the last cover, and I really love that tag there. So that's that one. So I'll just move on. So if you're interested in that, the link will be down below. Well, the link will be to my shop, and then you can find it there. And then this one is another fall theme, darker colors, and I made this charm. This one has a bunch of fall charms on it that are silver, and there's like leaves, and there's a squirrel. There's a wood leaf on the top there, some brown and green beads. So I love how that turned out. And then it's tied up with this chiffon ribbon. I think this was from Temu. It's kind of like a fabric strip. And that's what that looks like. A vintage postcard there and game money. Fun pom-pom trim on the side. Over here I added a leaf die cut and also a leaf die cut in here. This was a scrap from just some paper that I had made with cocoa, like unsweetened cocoa. That was a fun video where I made that. And another little vintage ephemera. It's a printed one with a sticker, I think. Here's from a fall kids book, vintage book. This is some coffee, or yeah, I think it's coffee stained paper. Vintage playing card there. This is some fun chenille rickrack sewn on the side. Stamped down here, and then this is a vintage ledger that was actually written in French, and then over here I decorated with a die cut and a little fall word, I don't know what you call those, anyway, on Etsy. I'll try and link it down below. I found some autumn fall word sayings that were typed up, so I printed those out and inked them up. This is a vintage tree book. Added washi on the ledger page. Now this was a paper that I actually made, just using leaves and layering them in water. I made them a couple years ago. It's a thicker watercolor paper. Here's another tree book page. That was from actually an Ideals book. I stamped this with a leaf stamp. Some crochet ribbon on the side. And over here I made this belly band with another leaf die cut and word saying or title. And then I had this tea stained bag here and I just stamped it with some leaves. Here is my cocoa stained paper with the templates, or not templates, but what are they called? Never mind. I can't think of it. I don't know why I can't think of the word of that. Anyway, I added die cut up there and a word. Here's some composition notebook paper, not composition notebook paper, but manuscript paper. I added some acorn washi at the bottom. There's another book page. This is some fun handmade paper. I think I found this on Amazon. It's like a brown. It's really fun. I love using it. It's really, I've used it in a camping junk journal that I'm working on right now. Another vintage book page. This is a really lovely image there. I stamped over here. Added washi and some die cuts there. And then here's a book page on that there that opens up. I made a little pocket with a little tag that I embellished, just with some scraps. And then in here I have a vintage bingo card and a little journaling card. I just decorated that on the side. Just some paper and, oh, this is like stationery that has little leaves and flowers at the top, so I included that. This is really pretty, the book page. And then this is some really pretty lace that I had in my stash, some vintage lace that has green, and it's kind of an ombre effect, greens and browns and burgundies. This is a seed packet, like a little seed envelope. And then I think I may have gotten this on Amazon, either Amazon or Temu. And then there's a little tag in there that I stamped. Another vintage playing card and a vintage ephemera. And then I had this leaf trim in my stash. It's a felt trim. And here's another book page that's really cool. Really cute. And in here is another little journaling card. And then these are 2 pockets that have openings on the side, so oh, let me get them out. Whoa, I got kind of stuck in there. There we go. I don't know why that got stuck. So I embellished the tags, and those just fit in on the side. And there's that one. And then here's the last page. I embellished a journaling card there and another vintage playing money piece there. I don't know what, I found this, I believe, at the bins. There was a bunch of them, well, a little stack anyway. Not really sure what game this was from, but it's really cool. Really pretty. There's actually like red and purple, I believe, and blue. So that's that one. And we'll move on and we'll do the Christmas ones. So here's the first one. This has red lace. They both have a red lace tie. And then this one has this fun charm dangle. These I made quite a while back using epoxy, UV epoxy, and I made this Christmas charm. Really pretty. There's like sequins in there and glitter. And then it has the star on the top. Some beads. So take that little, it's just horizontal or vertical stripes. And this has a really fun scrapbook paper collection that I used. There's tickets and a journaling card. Here is a belly band, and I just put another journaling card in there. Some pom-pom trim. I embellished this pocket with a little word tag and die cut, and then I put in a vintage Christmas card that I had in my stash. This is some vintage stationery, and then I put some red, I sewed some red velvet ribbon on that side. And then this is some stained paper that I made, and I added washi and then a vintage milk cap over there. Some red lined paper. I put a vintage Christmas playing card with stamping, and then a vintage transparency up there. And then over here I stamped onto some green ledger paper. This was a page from a vintage ideals book, Christmas one, and I sewed some vintage seam binding trim on the side. Over here I embellished the pocket with this little die cut, and then I put in more of that money. This is the red, and another vintage card. Sewed some lace on the side, and then over here's a little tuck spot. I added a journaling card and some Monopoly money, and then here is a Christmas music sheet page. I added a little tag at the top for just some embellishment, and then on this side I stamped a Santa there. Over here some manuscript paper, and I added washi here and here, or this is paper and washi's on this side. There's more dyed paper that I sewed rickrack on, and then this was a belly band. I put a die cut there and then I had these super large tickets. I found those at the bins too. Here is a recipe book page for holiday recipes, and then another ideals book page and a Christmas book, and the other side of that recipe book page. Just fun. I love the images in this recipe book or cookbook. And then here's a belly band. Here's a little Dear Santa note paper. More composition paper, or I don't know why I want to call it that. Manuscript paper. I added another little tag on the side with some lace. And then on this music paper, I added a little ticket at the top, and then this vintage ribbon lacy trim there. And then on this side, this is a vintage coaster, Christmas coaster. There's a belly band here, and I added in a bingo card and a little note card. Some fun crocheted lace on the side. And then here is some money and another little journaling card. This is a precious little page from the Ideals book. It's the other side. But this little girl with her little kitten is just adorable. And then I stamped Merry Christmas over here. Added some washi. Over here I had this really fun embroidered ribbon that was just embroidered like Christmas trees, so I cut around it to add to the side of the page. Added in a scrap there with my little paper clip, and then some money on that side. This is the other side of that stationery, so it kind of opens up to the full there. And then here, a pocket, I added this vintage playing card, and then a little word tag that says Let It Snow, and then I added in a little tag and a note card. On this side is a belly band, so I just added a couple scraps of scrapbook paper there. And the last page here is another belly band, and I added in some paper, journaling card, and the money in there. So that is that one. We'll move on to the next one. This is the last one for this video. As I said, I have 9 more journals, so it'll probably be 2 more videos showing the rest of the journals, but I should have, well, actually I will list these 4 today, and then as I do the videos I'll list the other ones. Okay, so this one is a little bit different. It has a lot of the same fabrics, but I did a little bit different configuration on how I quilted them. So that's what that looks like. Here is the charm dangle. It's another charm that I made with epoxy, but it was this reindeer little hoop. And then I added in some other beads there. Okay, let me open it up. I used the same paper pad for this one as well. Here's a little tuck spot, and this is a vintage postcard. Here is a belly band. I added a little die cut and a little word tag there. And this was a piece of that notebook paper. And then I added this pom-pom trim. It has like really little tiny gold tinsel in the pom-pom trim. I only had this one little piece that it was just in my scraps of trim, so I used that up. On this side I had a journaling card and a set of red tickets. Here is a music sheet page that I stamped up there with a candy cane, and then I added a die cut at the top there of that ornament. Here is the vintage stationery with a little card up there. And on this side, I sewed the velvet ribbon, and then I added the vintage coaster up there. Down here, I added washi tape to some manuscript paper and then stamped Santa there. And then here is a vintage ideals book page. It's really fun. I don't know, I just love the colors of the ideals page. And then here's a really cute picture of little kids sleeping, waiting for Santa, and Santa's appearing in there. And then in this pocket, I have that red money and then a little note card that I stamped the Santa on. There's some lace on the side. And then this one also has the huge ticket. Here is the recipe or cookbook page, and then a vintage milk cap on the side there. There's the green dyed paper with the rickrack. Here I added one of these die cuts or cut aparts on the side with some ribbon, and then tucked in a journaling card and money there. I stamped Merry Christmas up there, and then up at the top here I have the transparency, and then this really fun ribbon that was in the other book. On this side I attached a tag, and then here's the other side of that Christmas Ideals book page. Actually, this is a different one, because here's the center, the other side there. And then this one has a tuck going up, so I tucked in a couple scraps of paper there. Here's that vintage seam binding, and then the tree ribbon on the side there, and then on the other side is a belly band, and then there's another vintage card. The other side of the cookbook page. And then in this tuck is the bingo card and the money. Here is a tag and journaling card. The other side of that Ideals book page, the first one. And then here's the other side of the stationery. I added a little tag on the side there. And then here, oh, getting close to the end here, there's a tuck with some paper and money. And then on this side, this is another, was that from a, I think that was, I cut that apart from something, a card or something, I'm not sure, and then added joy there. And then here is the note card that I stamped with a little mistletoe, and then, or holly leaves. And then here's a journaling card and money, and this is the back cover page. So that is it, guys. I really love how these turned out. They were a lot of fun to make. Go ahead and check the links out for my Etsy shop if you're interested in one of these books. And also check out my previous 2 videos on the series of the fabric scraps. And yeah, hopefully it'll give you some inspiration. If you're not able to pick up any of these books, that's what my channel is here for, just to inspire you with the things that I love to make. And hopefully you like to make them too. Let me know what journal themes you're working on right now, and yeah, what you thought of these. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality. Bye. God bless.